फिर से स्टार्ट करना हो या स्टार्टिंग है ना? ओके। Hi, hi all of you. So today I'm going to explain you what is cloud computing, and this is a very emerging topic nowadays. Everybody is using in its organization for them for making their work easier. So let us learn what is cloud computing and what are its impacts, what are its use cases, and how we can use that for make our work easier and beneficial, and it can become a more economical also. So let's start. This is Namita Saxena, and I'm going to teach you about all the things of cloud computing. I try to explain you what are the basics and how you can use that for better making your work easier and economical also. So let's start. So in that I'll tell you why we use cloud computing and what is cloud computing, some of its characteristics. Then I'll move on the types of cloud computing, what are its major providers, which providing the cloud services, and then we will move on and advantages of cloud, then its use cases, and then I'll show you one demo that how we can use AWS and what are the things they are provided which we can use. So we'll take this one by one. Okay, so first of all we will learn that what is the difference between your on-premise and cloud-based architecture. So on-premise, you all know that it's something a software which is installed locally in your company computers, like in your company, in your own organization. So whatever there is in your organization, all servers, if you have a LAN connection and all those things, your routers, switches, and its information you are storing in servers. So all those things are on premise, means you're not taking help from somebody else or third party. But cloud based software means like you are hosted on the vendor server, and you can access through a web browser. So basically cloud based means you are taking that services from any third party vendor, you are not using within your own premise and all. So this is basic the main difference between your own premise, your on premise and cloud based. So let us move on the difference between both of this. So first of all we will learn what is the advantage of cloud computing over our on premise infrastructure. So first, I would like to explain about the payment, like billing model, you can say. So on-premise, the billing model, it's very higher and less scalability. Why? As you know, we have to pay everything. If we are purchasing the servers, if we are purchasing the storage, if we are purchasing anything, so we have to pay for that. Okay, so the we have to pay for everything, and less scalability also. But in the cloud you can say it's based on pay what you use, means pay as you go type. It means if you want the more, if you want the more space, so you have to pay more. If you want to use the less space, so you have to pay less, means you can scale up or scale down according to your requirement. Okay, so you have the requirement of 1 TB, so you can purchase that much of from any third party vendor. And and at that time suppose you don't want that space, or if you don't want that memory or something, so you can like decrease that. So it's based on the pay for what you use. You can scale up as well as you can scale down. So now let's move on second point, like required use space for server. Obviously, I told you like we want the servers, we want some infrastructure because we are not like buying from third party. So we have like huge space for planning those infrastructure and all. But here, no servers required because everything is on virtual basis. What is cloud? Like cloud is something we is virtual. Okay, virtual means there is some you can say data centers in different places, but not at all places. There are some different places we have a data centers, and from that data centers you are using those resources. Okay, so like you are no need to buy the servers. Look, each company no need to buy the servers and all. You can buy that resource from third party vendor. Now the third point is your appoint a team for software and hardware maintenance. So in on-premise you have to appoint a team. Otherwise, no, how you can maintain your softwares and hardware. So there is an IT team in on-premise, but in the cloud computing, like no experts required. Okay, for your hardware and software maintenance. Means we need a dedicated team actually to manage software and hardwares. Okay, but whereas in cloud computing no experts required, like no dedicated team we require for hardware and software maintenance. So they all get managed by the provider, and even if we need to manage them, then provider gives us the option to manage them through console. So they will provide us the console, and through that we can manage those options. Okay, so then we have the poor data security, and in cloud computing we get the better data security. Means in cloud data security is better due to the investment the providers have done, okay, to secure the data and to meet the compliance. So the data security is better. Then we have like less chance of data recovery, but here we have the disaster recovery. Means you can recover the data because uh, so many replications are there, so your data cannot be like, lost or something. Then we have the data cannot be accessed remotely. Here in on-premise and the cloud computing, we can access the data shared anywhere over the internet. So like main point is your internet. If you have the internet, you can access the data, you can share it to anybody, everyone, or anywhere in the world. Okay, so it's very like you can say it's very important. It's the need of the hour to use the cloud. Then no automatic updates. Here we have the automatic upgrade, software upgrade. So no need to upgrade like monthly or weekly all the softwares. Only we have to plan on which date we want the software to get upgraded. It all done in the backend. So it's very important. Like cloud computing, it's very emerging technology, you can say. So now let's learn about what is cloud computing. We have learned about the why we used. Okay, now we will move to what is cloud computing basically. So like as you see in the picture, I have provide some pictures also so that you can understand better like what is cloud computing. So like with the help of cloud computing, like rather than managing files on the local storage, okay, cloud computing basically makes it possible to save them over internet. So, like, it is the delivery of on demand computing services over the internet, and it is based on pay as you go basis. Means if you want more, you have to pay more. If you want less, you can pay less. So, it's like that. And like it can be referred as this is a separate IT environment that is created for remotely provisioning, okay, measured and scalable IT resources. So you can say like I can be a mobile person and moving from place to place. and but I can access the storage from the internet. And if I want to give that access to somebody else, I can provide that. Okay, but I want the requirement of internet only. If I have the internet, I can provide that. So basically, like cloud computing make it possible to do all this thing over internet. So let's move on. Its characteristics. So like we have the five major characteristics: elasticity, on demand, then you have measured service usage, provider pooled computing resources, and the broad network access. So now let's learn one by one about all the characteristics. These are the basically the major characteristics of cloud computing. So like first is your, suppose, on demand. This is the major one. So on demand. On demand self-service, you can say like customer can select the resource whenever they need. Okay. Second thing, you can say the customer can access it anytime and from anywhere. So that is on demand as the name indicates. And like customer can upgrade, downgrade the service anytime. So like you can access the resource at any time you want. That is on demand characteristic. Okay. So this is the on demand. Then we will learn about, okay, elasticity. So elasticity also, as the name indicates, we can scale in, we can scale out something. Okay. So like it is customers resource scalability and the flexibility. So like you can scale in out when there is demand. Means when you are creating the new servers, like when the demand is more, so you can what you can scale out. Okay, because there's a demand, and you can scale in when there is no demand. So same model which I have told you, that you can scale up and scale in, that's why it's known as elastic, rapid elasticity, you can say. So like I can give you an example of e-commerce website, a shopping website. This is one of the example of elasticity. Means when there is because all we are using, we are do the shopping, online shopping we do. So when there is more need, like suppose I'm Amazon and customers are purchasing the things, and it's reached to a level. Okay, so the demand is very high. So what we have to do, we have to extend our servers. And suppose in the time, at the time, like in the some months when the demand is very less, so what they guys do, they just decrease their you can say the resources. So that's why I'm saying it's rapid elasticity, means you can scale and scale down. One more thing I want to say, like as I've given you the example of e-commerce website, so you are scaling out and you are scaling in. This is known as the horizontal scaling, basically. Like when you are provisioning new servers in load set. Okay. And like when you are increasing the computing power of the machine. Suppose your machine is 4 GB and you are increasing to 8 GB. So that is your vertical scaling. So here we have two scalings. Okay. So next is your measured service usage, as the name indicates, pay as you go model, measured service. So they measure, and whatever your usage, they will charge you that only from wherever you are taking the services of cloud. Whether is a, you heard about so many providers, I think very well, that we have Amazon, we have Azure, and we have Microsoft, Google. And so these are all the providers. So from wherever you are taking the resources, so they will deploy a model of pay as you go. Okay, so they have the bits. So in this, basically, we have the financial control of the business process. So like how many servers we are using and in which locations they are hosted, everything is comes under measured service. Then we have the provider pooled computing resources. Means something is getting pooled. And you know the pool means like two three peoples, like two three peoples are using. Suppose we have an example of Uber and Ola, like we are pooling the resources, no? So same here we have, like we can scale up, scale down resource based on the customer and requirement or our business requirement. And it depends on the multi-tenancy level, multi-tenancy model, you can say. Means you can provide to number of customers. Okay, you can provide these resources to number of customers. And one more thing, they are secure. Okay, all the customer have their own resources and they're not interlinked, they are totally secure. Then the last characteristics I want to explain you like is broad network access. So as the name indicates that broad network access means any network, any time and at any location we can use this. So internet is the backbone basically, and any web enabled device we can use for using these services. Okay, so these are the major characteristics. If like you are going for interview or something, one can ask you what are the characteristics, you can tell that these are the very important characteristics, and this cover all the things which we have in the cloud computing. Okay, so now let's move to next. So we have the types of cloud computing now. So cloud computing are having the two models. One is your deployment model and second is your service model. So in your deployment models, you have three models: public cloud, private cloud, and the hybrid cloud. Similarly, in the service model, we have three uh, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. We say like this. So these are the major models one should know before going to the cloud computing. And like in the further slides we will learn one by one all the models, what is the requirement of those, and all the things we will learn one by one. So first of all we will learn about the deployment model. So like the deployment model, we have the three: public cloud, private cloud, and you can say like hybrid cloud. Okay, so let's move on to public cloud first. So before going to public cloud, like I want to explain you one example, like how you can interrelate all these three: public, private, and cloud. See, suppose you travel from bus also, you travel from car also, and you travel from taxi also. So let us take an example of a bus. So in the bus, you know that we have so many passengers are there who are using that bus. Okay, means we have so many passengers who is using that service, right? So accessible to everyone means public cloud is a example of a bus. You can relate with an example of a bus that it is accessible to anyone. Like we have a bus and all the passengers can use that bus. So it's like a public cloud. Okay, then we have a private cloud. In the private cloud you can relate with your own car, like you have a own car, you have own privacy, and like nobody can else can hire that, or it's not accessible to any other. Means you are owned by, it is owned by a single person. So that is private cloud. Now I think you can easily relate with this. And third is your taxi. Okay, so like taxi is like something we rent a private taxi, so we hire that thing. Okay, so like 3 4 customers are there, and we pooled and we go. So that is your hybrid cloud. So now let's move one by one. Now first, what is public cloud? So like public cloud is basically it's a cloud environment obviously, which is managed by a third party provider, and it enables that resources like such as applications, your VMs, your virtual machines, etc., to the general public over the internet. Means if like public cloud means organization, or you can say a third party provider which provides the resources, okay, on a general public basis to the general public over the internet. Means anyone can use them, it is accessible to everyone. Okay, so one of a few examples we have for that is like AWS we have, then we have Azure, that is from Microsoft, then we have Google, then we have IBM Blue Cloud. So these are the some of the few providers which are providing the services, and they are comes into the category of deployment model in public cloud. So some examples we can learn, like cloud storage services they are providing, online software applications they are providing, and the cloud hosting, and the list grows. So these are the three examples we can say which we are using from these providers, and they are providing on the normal basis, like pay as you go model, and they are public to everybody. Okay, so like you have storage, you are online software applications, and the cloud hosting. So I think now you understand what is public cloud. Let's move on to private cloud now. So like private cloud, as I explained you in the last slides also, like you have a own car, so that is owned by a single user, or that is owned by a private user. So that is your private cloud. Means that cloud infrastructure is basically exclusively operated by a single organization. Okay, no other organization can share that resources as in the public cloud. So obviously it is managed by the third party and may exist on premise and or off premise also. So we have some examples like AWS, VMware. So these are the example. Like AWS is such a provider which provides all the facility, actually private also, public also, and hybrid also. That's why I've mentioned this and this also. So basically, it is having the more security as compared to your other the models, because it is owned to a single organization also. Your data is not uh, like shared with everybody else or something. It is only like to you only. Okay, so now the benefits of private cloud are: first is your higher security and privacy, and then your legal compliance and the better control. So these are the main benefits of private cloud. As the name indicates, you can easily understand the benefits of private cloud. So now let's move on hybrid cloud now. So like hybrid cloud means it's the combination first of all of both, like your public cloud also and your private cloud also. So basically it's a cloud environment, and is the combination of both your public cloud as well as your private cloud. So the organization use a hybrid cloud to deploy private clouds for critical workloads. So whatever the critical workloads, the organization is using the private clouds for that. And if that is not critical, or if they want to host to everybody, they use the public cloud. Okay, if it is less sensitive workloads, so they will move to public, and for the critical or sensitive data they use the private cloud. So this is the combination. Most of the organizations take this also, because in this they are getting the facility of both models. So now we have learned about the deployment models. Now let us learn about some service models. So these are very important, as IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. These are three types of service model which like if you're going, or if you're preparing for its interview, or if you want to move, so you should have the knowledge of all these models. Okay, these are very important: IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. So IaaS means infrastructure as a service, PaaS means platform as a service, and SaaS means software as a service. As the name indicates, they are defined as the name indicates. So IaaS means infrastructure as a service, means you're the host. Okay, they are the host which use these models. Platform as a service means if suppose you want to build something, you want to build a software, you want to build an application, then you comes under the PaaS model. And then the users who want to consume that resources, they are use a SaaS model. So host, build and consume, these are the things which you have to learn. So let's move on one by one. First of all, now what is IaaS? It provides you the computing infrastructure, as name indicates, infrastructure as a service. So like you are getting the computing infrastructure and other resources like your virtual machines, okay, your file storage, your load balancer, your everything, your virtual networks, etc. So you are getting everything on the cloud. You the whole infrastructure you are getting on the cloud. So that is your infrastructure as a service. Then platform as a service, like in the platform as a service, it provides you the computing platform on which you can develop your softwares. Okay, you can develop your applications. So basically they provides you the platform which includes programming language, execution environment, your database, your web server, etc. So that is your platform as a service. In the further slides we will learn, if you're not able and you're not getting that one, in the further slides you will learn all of those. Now software as a service. So software as a service means provides you on the on demand software, and there is no way to worry about installation. It is already installed, only you have to use. So and users basically use this, okay, like the setup of the application. So everything is prepared, only you have to use. So this comes under software as a service. So some of the examples are like infrastructure as a service. We have Azure virtual machines, then we have Amazon EC2, we have Rackspace. For the platform as a service we have AWS Elastic Beanstalk, then we have Windows Azure and the Heroku. And the software as a service we have Microsoft Office 365, which all we are using, salesforce.com. So now I have given one example also here. So like suppose on premise we have all these requirement applications, we want data, we want runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, networking. So we all require all this thing, okay. So IaaS means suppose application, data, runtime, middleware and operating systems are managed by you, and the virtualization, your servers, storage and networking you are taking from any third provider, third vendor, third party vendor. So that is your IaaS, means infrastructure as a service. So this is IaaS, means infrastructure as a service. So like you are using those servers, you are using you can say you are using storage, and you are using networking and virtualization from third party, and all the above things means application, data, runtime you are doing by your own. So that is your IaaS. So basically it offers the computing architecture and infrastructure. So it offers all the computing resources but in a virtual environment basically. So like if you use the service, you will be responsible for handling other resources such as applications, your data, your runtime and middleware. Then your PaaS. PaaS is your platform as a service. So who use this? Developers basically use this. So what is managed by you? Here only applications and data are managed by you, and all the things, your middleware, your operating system, your virtualization servers, all you are taking from somebody else. Means somebody else is managing that thing, and you are on the top of that, you are developing your applications, you are developing your softwares. So that is your PaaS. Then SaaS is everything you are managed by vendor. Okay, you are not doing anything. Suppose like I can give a very easiest example. You are using the Google, yeah, like Google Drive. You are using you can say you are using your Google application, Gmail. Okay, you are Googling, using your Play Store. So all these things are the example of your SaaS. You are not using, you are not doing anything. You are only using those resources. So that is your SaaS, software as a service. Now let's move on. We will learn now what are the providers which are providing these models and who will use those models. Now first is who uses SaaS. So end users use SaaS. As I have told you, all your applications of Microsoft 365, like we are using Word document, we are using Excel document, we are PowerPoint. So all this thing we are using from Microsoft Office 365, and it is an example of SaaS, software as a service. Means there is a service and you are using that. You're not doing anything, you are just using the resources, okay, which anybody else have made. So and like Google, this is one of the major example. Your Salesforce service, these are the major example of SaaS. Means your on demand service. When you have demand, you can use that. Pay per use of application software to users. Okay, so this is your SaaS. Now who use PaaS? As I've told you, PaaS is your platform as a service. Developer use this. Developers, and the major examples are your AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So this is one of the like example which we have in AWS. Through this you can develop your software, and you can do you can develop, you can run, and you can manage applications. Then we have Windows also. Windows Azure, it is also providing us such a platform. Google App Engine, through this you can like develop your applications. We have force.com. So all these good players, these are the good players and market players which are providing the PaaS. Okay, so developers can use this. It's very easy to use, and I must say that if somebody is a developer, they can learn these things. It makes your work very easier. Okay, then we will learn about IaaS, that is your infrastructure as a service. So infrastructure as a service, like who is going to use this? Like you can say your system administrators. So system administrator use this infrastructure as a service, and so it basically offers all the computing resources but in a virtual environment. So the some of the you can say the providers: DigitalOcean, your Rackspace, GoGrid, Amazon EC2. So these are the providers which are providing you the infrastructure as a service. So now I think now you learn about the development deployment models and the service models. Now let us learn about some of the cloud providers and what they are offering, and like how we can distinguish which provider is doing what thing and all. So first we have as you can say AWS. AWS is your Amazon Web Services. So it provides you the cloud computing services and provided by the Amazon. Means it's a one of the resource by the Amazon. Okay, so it's Amazon Web Service. Then it provides us the mix of infrastructure. It also provides you the IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. That's why I have given its name everywhere, which like I was told you now about the service model, and there I have explained all this thing. So AWS is providing all those things. So then we have Azure Microsoft. So like cloud computing service provided by the Microsoft. This is the cloud computing service which we are providing by the Microsoft, and it's specialized in your like using cloud. Matlab it is specialized in using cloud for building, managing, testing, like and deploying applications globally. That Microsoft manages. Okay, so it provides all the things like IaaS also, PaaS also, and SaaS also. So like it supports lots of programming languages, tools, framework, also includes both Microsoft and the third party software. Then we have the IBM Cloud. It is also one of the major cloud provider. It is by IBM and it offers you the public, private and hybrid delivery models. Okay. Then we have the VMware. VMware is by Dell. And one thing I want to tell you, it was the first company which virtualized the cross 86 x86 hardware. So VMware is also one of the most emerging cloud provider. Then we have a Google Cloud Platform and it is offered by Google. They provide computing services, data storage services, data analytics and virtual machine services, machine learning also. So all these things are provided by your Google. Then we have a DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean is like a American cloud infrastructure provider and it's headquartered in New York. So like it provides developer cloud services that they can deploy and scale applications. So these are the major providers. If you want to learn about this, you can just Google them. You can learn, you can easily learn about all these providers. They are providing us the major service and you can get a free trial also from this. Like I'll explain you at last about the AWS. Okay. So then we have these top providers. I have taken this from one of the major good article from zdnet.com, and in this article like you can easily learn which one is the emerging provider. Like AWS we can see, uh, and then we have Microsoft, we have ServiceNow, Salesforce. So these are the providers whose business is very much in globally, cross global. Okay, so these they are this like chart gives you the percentage of respondents expecting changes in your in use of your technology vendors. So this is very nice. You can click on this link also if you want to read the article. Okay, so now let's move on to the advantages now. So we have the five major advantages of cloud computing. Like it's cost effective. Okay, so like as on demand service, cloud computing is cheap. Like you can only pay for what you use, and you don't incur the initial capital of acquiring that infra. So it's cost effective. Okay, so then we have the availability. So availability means like most cloud providers are extremely like reliable in providing their services, with many maintaining like 99.99% uptime. So like its availability means they are providing 24 cross 7 services. You can use those resources 24 cross 7, that is availability. And like the connection is always on, and as long as the like workers have an internet connection, you can use those applications. That's why it's 24 cross 7 availability. Then we have like scalability. As I told you, scalability, like you can scale out and you can scale in. Okay, so it can be scalable. Okay, according to your demand you can scalable. And um, if you want more you can scale out, if you want less you can scale in. So that is your scalability. Then we have collaboration. As I told you about the pool resources that we can we have the public cloud, and many customers can use that. So that is your collaboration. And your security, which is the very most important, like in the over increasing era of data breaches. So our top cloud computing security solution has security protocols in place to protect sensitive info and transactions. So like this prevents the third party from eavesdropping, major important, or tampering with the data being transmitted. So it's secure also. So these are the major advantages of cloud computing. So now let's move on the use cases of cloud computing. So like we have the so many use cases, but here I have captured 4 5 use cases which are important. Let's move on. So test development. So the test development, you can say like the flexibility of the cloud, okay, allows for environment to be built up, tested and torn down quickly. So like there is no need to wait months for the provisioning of a new environment. So you can provisional in a very in few clicks, means in a matter of minute you can spun up your application. So like it makes our work very easier for the developers, I say. And virtual desktop and desktop as a device, it's very important use case of cloud computing. Like suppose with the mobile workforce like growing in prevalence, so employees are increasing bringing their own devices. Virtual desktop and your desktop as a service have emerged like as a way for IT departments to standardize security and content access across devices. So like they help us when there is disaster because they are hosted in the cloud and can be easily accessed from any device. Okay, so these are the virtual desktops. Then email. So email is also one of the major use case of cloud computing, as I've told you about your if use Microsoft 365. So this is one of the major example of, you can say, cloud computing. So like Microsoft Outlook means it can be accessed by the internet, and like it is one of the common client. So whether it's marketing, sales, or IT. So email has a use case in every line of business, and its accessibility via the cloud is crucial. And like one or more example, I want to tell you about the Microsoft team. So in the teams, we can like create our meetings, we can store our data. So everything behind that is with the cloud. Then we have the disaster recovery as a service. So if there is any disaster, um, you have the redundant backup. Okay, no need to worry about your storage and about all your data. You have a redundant backup. Then we have a backup as a service. So all these are the major use case of the cloud computing, which we are using, and which one organization can use for making their work easier and economical also. So now let's move on to cloud demo. Let me explain you how you can um, like visit the AWS and what are their services. So like I have my account. Similarly, if you want to see all this thing, you want to see the services and the resources which it is providing, what you can do, you can create your account. It's like free for 12 months. So let's sign up. As I have my own account, so I can sign in into that. So after signing in, I can explain you about. So this is my ID, like. So this is my ID, and like now we can give a password. Similar way you can make your account in this AWS, and you can see what are the services they are providing. They are providing like 12 months free services. Like after 12 months they will charge you. So this is our management console page. So if you want to see all the services, here we have a look. Okay, so like for they are providing you the compute services, they are providing you the containers. Okay, they are providing you storage. See, storage services I am also using through S3. You can save your documents, you can save your crucial data. Okay, we have the databases, they are providing you the database. Okay, then they are providing you the migration and transfer sources. So many sources they are providing. They are providing us the networking and content delivery platforms also, like CloudFront. You can learn about the CloudFront, it's very good. So there are developer tools for your VR developers, cloud deploy, cloud build, cloud pipelines. They are the very, very good tools you can learn. So so these are the resources, these are the like services which AWS is offering for security. If somebody wants to learn about the security identity compliance, you can learn about IAM. So there are so many services AWS are providing. Not to, if suppose you want to do the certification in cloud, so I suggest you to please uh, learn about the AWS or Azure for whatever you want to do the certification. All these providers are providing you the certification. Then you can like crack the interview, and you can take a job from in any good vendor company or in any good provider company. Okay, so I suggest for learning this, um, you can you can click on this and you can learn more about this, or for better or for further knowledge you can please refer Tenso, which is an initiative from TNS private organization which is situated in Noida. I must say you can go there and learn whatever you want. There are so many courses they are offering. So, thank you for your time, and I hope you learned something from this cloud computing session. Thanks for watching.